Hello and welcome to this InterForm 400 training or demonstration video. What I would like to show you here is an example how you can make InterForm print Euro-code pages on older printers that really don't contain that Euro character, and also if you want to print in non-Western code page, for instance for the Eastern Europe with the code page 870, or even cyrillic code pages, or any other of the single byte character sets. If you're going to print Unicode or a double byte printout, then you would need to install the two-type font, as we will go through here, as a Unicode two-type font. It's very similar, but not the exactly same procedure. So here I will do a little demo so we can see exactly how to proceed with this. So first we would need a two-type font and upload that into the IFS, into the APF or 3812 home, and we have the subdirectory work. For doing that, it is possible, for instance, to go to your PC. If you have that two-type font already installed on your PC, it's just a matter of right-clicking on that, doing copy, and then have, for instance, a map drive onto your iSeries and pasting that two-type font here. After that, you can go back here into the green screen, and let's go into InterForm. So first we would need to install that two-type font, and if we're talking about printing and also PDF, we would need to install that two-type font for both, and that is done here through administration, and then 4 work with fonts, 4 work with subfonts for PCL. So here by pressing F6 create and F4, I can now list any two-type font available in my work directory. In this case I want to install Career New. I have it right here. Pressing enter again. Simple set. Well, this is the important question. What code page, what EBCDIC code page are you going to use for your merge? So if you're going with the normal Western code page, you would go with code page 850. So you can use this procedure as well if you want to install a specific two-type font, for instance a Verdana or something that is not known by the printer. Then you would go with 850 for Western code pages like Germany, France, Denmark, England, so on, Spain, Italy, Europe, US, Latin 2, code page 852, that's the EBCDIC code page 870. And if you're going with a Euro code page, also of course for Germans like 1141 and other Euro code pages, then you would need to install it for code page 858. In this case, let's be sure that we can actually see a specific difference. So let's try with cyrillic. So I'm installing that for cyrillic. For the typeface here, that is actually not that important, but in older versions of InterForm you should take care not to use a typeface that is already known by the printer, that InterForm would normally know. And in order to avoid that, you should normally specify a number larger than 32,767. So in this case, let me just say 33,335. So it's not really used, but it's a good idea to use the same typeface when we define the font number later on to be linked with this one. So I just come up with the name here. It should be a member name that it's saved as, and that is a name that shouldn't exist already. So let's just hope it doesn't exist already. So it's there, pressing F5, and we see the new subfont here. So now I've prepared to use this two-type font for PCL output. Next issue, I would like to make sure it's also available for PDF. So I want to install it for PDF here using option 5. Pressing F6, F4 again, listing it, Korea, here we go, pressing enter. And for PDF, it's not that complicated. If we're talking Western, both non-Euro and Euro-code pages is just one. Eastern European, that means code page 870, and go with 2. In this case, cyrillic, so that's 5. Oh, sorry. We can call it the same. It's not, doesn't need to be the same, but I think it makes more sense to use the same name for both. Pressing F5 to update this list, and here we go. So, no, just a second. So here we have installed the two type fonts for both PCL and PDF. Now we need to create a font number that we want to use for this two type font. So for creating the font number, go with 1, description of additional fonts, creating a new one. I know for a fact this one is free, so let me just use this. Korea 12 CPI. So it's a fixed font, 12 CPI, and both the pitch and height should be filled out. So let me specify the equivalent height here. That should be 10. Typeface, that's it. For the style and stroke weight and so on, you should notice that you need to create a new font number and install a new two-type font if you want the bold version of Korea, for instance, or the italic or condensed and so on. So you would need to install each of the types of that font. In this case, I'm just concentrating on this single one. Yeah. So now we need to go on here and link. First of all, we need to prepare our auto-download specifications. So we have a printer group containing, I would suggest normally to create a printer group for all PCL output. So you have just one single printer group for those, and that is done here through option 8, auto download subfonts. And if you have used any barcodes, then it's very likely that you already have a printer group like this *PCL, and if not, I would suggest you now to create that or use another printer group if you have created another one with a different name. Just make sure that it's recommended not only to have one printer group for PCL, and also for that single group, verify that is active for all PCL output through here option 6, update output queues. So here, if you have an output queue called *all PCL, then you have set to InterForm this is active for all PCL output, and that's how InterForm will create this as default when you have created a barcode. So that would be the normal setup. But now we can add additional links between the font numbers and the two type fonts through option 8, update fonts. And here, oh sorry. Yes, so here we can now add the link between our font number. So selecting now the font number I just created, recalling what I installed it for. So that was cyrillic. So I'm specifying cyrillic here again. Using F4, selecting the two type font I previously installed. So now I have prepared it for PCL output. Pressing enter and doing the same for the PDF printer group with option 8. Perhaps I should just show you once more. 8, update fonts. Pressing F6 and adding again for cyrillic, that's 5. pressing F4 to select the TrueType font that I previously installed. So now I prepared my PCL and PDF output to use this TrueType font whenever I'm using that font. If I'm going to use the graphical designer to work with this specific code page, then I would need also to specify that in my for my user profile. So I'm just going back here to the main menu, option 80, administration, 1, work with users, and then for this specific user I can tell here which code page I would want to use work with. So here I'm specifying a cyrillic code page. So it means when I'm opening the designer, it will show my characters in that code page. Good. Yeah, that's actually it. But of course it would be nice just to test that code page that it actually is working like it's supposed to. And for that we have a screen here in InterForm that is quite useful. So if you go into 12 service functions, you have here option 5, display all displayable characters. Then I suggest you here you take simply a screenshot. So if you right click, if you're running iSeries Access, you can right click and choose host print, and that means that you have actually created a spoof file. Good job. And here we go. That's the one. So that spoof file, you can move that, for instance, to another output queue that is not too long. So you're able to find that later on. And now we can check that code page, how it would look. So if I now start my graphical designer, sign on, then InterForm already know now that I'm going to work with cyrillic code page. So now I can create a new overlay, and let me just select my font number 6010. Here we go. And you can actually see here already that it's there. If you have changed the code page for your user profile before the spoof file was loaded last, then you might see something wrong here. So you would need to reload the spoof file by clicking this icon, contacting the host, and downloading the spoof file again. But that is not necessary in this case. So let me just save my overlay. I can actually save it onto this cyrillic. Oh, sorry, journaling is not active. Yeah, not a problem. Just that we're working with safety net in InterForm, so normally of course it would be active, but now I've enabled it. Saving cyrillic. Yes, I want to override it. And now I can actually verify both the PCL and the PDF result. So here we go. Crossing my fingers. Yes. And closing and previewing here in PCL. So that covers the preview, and of course for the actual merges in InterForm, you would then need during the merge either a manual merge through command, or also through AutoForm's control. You can then set the code page here to use for those merges inside. So that should cover it. So by following these instructions, you should also be able to create both PCL and PDF output from InterForm in the code page that you want. Thank you very much for listening, and yeah, that's it. Bye.